how to read this book means being attentive to what is going on inside of me as I read the book, rather than looking to the book for information. If I'm looking to the book for information, you might as well not even bother to read the book, because you'll be very frustrated, because it will not satisfy your desire to get information. That's why the title, to blow the mind. It's not going to satisfy the desire of the mind. And desire is the problem on the planet. I'm conditioned to go after things. If I make a lot of money, I'll be happy. If I can get that promotion, I'll be happy. If I can do this and accomplish this, I will achieve and be happy. And I want to stave off death. I don't want to think about death. Yeah, death is something that's going to happen to other people. It's not going to happen to me. And that's always lurking in the background. And so real meditation is how to come upon something other than fear. In fact, real meditation is the dissolving of fear completely. Not temporarily, but completely. And all violence is based on fear. And so I have to look deeply into what is fear about. And again, the difficulty is the one who's looking into it can't be one who's accumulated lots of knowledge and how to in order to look. So it takes a certain kind of humility, a certain kind of humbleness, a certain kind of intelligent attentiveness, and in reading the book to observe what is going on inside of me as I read the book. So all books are nothing more than descriptions of something, and the something that's being described is not the thing itself, obviously. You can look at the moon and describe the moon, but the description is not the moon. So understanding that, how to use a book that hints at something more than just a description. And so the book is designed not to give any answers, but to promote questions. The question is really much more important than the answer. We're very accustomed to some kind of authority giving us an answer. We ask the question and some authority is going to satisfy it, but really nothing radical takes place inside of the person who's asked the question. The person who asked the question is searching, they're looking, but they can't look in the same way that they've been looking for thousands and thousands of years. And you do have ancient, for lack of a better word, religions that did meditation in order to completely stop thought. The real meditators realize that the thought process itself has to stop in order for something to take place. So thought belongs to the mind, belongs to the conditioning of the brain, if you will. So when that gets blown and can no longer function, then there's a possibility for an insight to take place that transcends the limitation of thought itself.
So there's a value in that classic meditation, but what you're doing with this book, or what you're inviting one to receive, is somewhat different than that classic meditation.
Yes, the classic meditation is basically something to do. Tell me what to do, and then I do it. The danger is, as I do it, I'm doing it in order to, I'm expecting some kind of something to happen out of that doing. The very doing itself has to be questioned, because who is the doer, and in what way are you doing, are you translating whatever you've read in a meditation, how-to meditation book. How are you translating that? And you're translating it based on your own limited conditioning. So you're going in circles and nothing much really takes place. So the object is to see something so clearly that thought itself stops. You're having a drink with a friend, and then you leave for a moment, and you come back, and your friend says, "Don't drink the drink." And you say, "Why not?" And the friend says, "Because while you were away, someone walked past, and I think they dropped something in the drink." Mm-hmm. Now, you see the danger of that. Mm-hmm. You're not going to drink the drink. Or you're driving your car, and you get to the end of a precipice. Mm-hmm. You see the danger. Mm-hmm. You're not going to use it's effortless. You simply stop the car. Now, does mankind see the danger of what he's doing? Obviously not, because we're still violent, we're still killing, we're still creating conflict between countries, between companies, between my team and your team. In personal relationships, we're conflicting. 60% of marriages end in divorce. And forget about even being in a relationship. I'm in inner conflict. And so if I'm involved with another person who's in inner conflict, naturally all that can happen is more conflict. So I have to understand the inner conflict that's running the show here. And so that becomes a challenge, to say the least, because with what instrument am I going to look into the problem? I am the problem. And now I'm going to attempt to solve myself. It's just going in circles. So it takes a certain kind of intelligence and sensitivity to be able to look in a whole other different way and not be depending on thought, memory, accumulative knowledge, but to simply stop doing that. That can only happen when I see the danger of what thought produces. We're not condemning thought, by the way, and thought has its place when it's used properly. Just like a car can be a weapon in the hands of a maniac, or it can be something positive, depending on how it's used. Same thing with a knife. So thought has its place if it's used properly. It can only be used properly if one sees the danger of psychological being caught in the habit of the psychological movement, if you will.